Hey everybody, how you doing? Mark here, out on a brisk fall day, going for a ride. I'll probably be out for a couple hours today. It is beautiful. Surprisingly, we just had our first snowfall of the year, but today I think our highs are supposed to be around 50. That's nice. But I do have a topic for this ride today, and that is what makes you want to subscribe to a YouTube channel. And the reason I ask this is because I think only about 3% of my viewers actually return to watch videos. And to me, it's like, why do people subscribe if they don't want to come back and watch the channel? You know, when I look for a channel to watch and pay attention to and subscribe to, I don't just say, hey, that's a really neat video, I'm going to give this guy a subscription, and then never come back to watch anything. I actually check the channel out to see what they do, to see what the channel's all about. You know, do they just give me one video out of their 300 that I think is interesting, that's recommended for me, and then the rest of the stuff is just non-existent stuff for me to pay attention to? You know, so I actually look at a channel before I subscribe to it to see if they kind of meet my criteria on what I look for. And I'm actually going to tell you what it is I look for. And I'm not saying that this is a top 10 things you need to look for. No, this is what I look for in a YouTube channel. Now, I'm going to say probably about 98% of what I watch is motorcycle riding content. You know, there's a few things that I'll watch, you know, because I'll get an idea in my head and I'm wondering how to do it or something like that, so I'll watch other things. But for the vast majority of the content I like to watch, it's motorcycle riding. So the first thing I look for in a channel, of course, is I have to be interested in the topic that your channel is about. You know, like I said, I like motorcycle riding content. That is my primary focus on watching YouTube videos. So if you have a channel that does primarily sewing or doll collecting or, you know, stuff about cars, I won't be interested in that stuff. You know, I do have one subscription to a channel that is on cars and small engines, and that's it. But then the second thing is, are you consistent with putting up your content? Now, if your channel only puts up content once a month, that's fine. You know, if you put up good content, I'll subscribe and see your content once a month. There's nothing wrong with that. I would prefer to see you once a week, but you know, that's not a necessity. And then the other thing too, and I've been getting a lot of these lately on my recommendeds, is that your content has to be current. I've been getting a lot of recommended channels and videos from YouTube, and the channel has not put up anything new in like 3, 4, 5 years. It's like, no, I don't want to watch that. You know, if there's nothing new coming out to the channel, why would I want to subscribe to it? Another thing I look for too is is the quality of the video. And that can range in a lot of different ways. The vast majority of those, I want to see improvements over the course of years. So if I want to go back and look at some of your older stuff, and it's, you know, just a high def quality, you know, a 1080p, which is fine, that's great quality. But if I can get a 1440 or a 2160, that's even better. Does your sound quality improve? You know, to where your older stuff is, you know, it's crackly and it's muffled, I can barely hear you over the wind noise, and then your new stuff is much clearer, much crisper, and I can actually hear what you're saying. Even that your editing is getting better. You know, maybe maybe you had it to where your background music is really loud, and then over the course of time you've learned to tone it down just a little bit so people can hear you better. So all that stuff is something I look for in a channel. The other thing I want is camera angles. Now, I shoot on the 360 camera, and I put up 360 degree videos. So you can change the angle all you want. You know, you don't have to sit there and look at me all the time. You can look at this big, huge farm coming up here, this barn and house. You can look at that tower there. You can look at this building that they're constructing over here, or that combine. So, you know, I'm allowing you guys to be able to do that. Where a lot of people, they stick a camera on their helmet, and that's the only shot they get. And that's fine to an extent. But if you have like a 20-minute long video and you're constantly doing this and you're looking around and stuff like that, and your video is all over the place, after a while that gets dizzying and I can't watch it. That's kind of a nice little house there, huh? I like that big huge silo sitting there. Anyway, which actually brings me to my next thing. And that is consistency on staying on topic. Meaning, you know, you come out and you start talking about something, and 10 minutes have gone by, and I still don't understand what you're talking about. You've rambled on about, you know, your kid's softball game, or the funeral that you had to go to for your aunt, and an encounter that you had with some pissy driver or something like that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it could be anything. But it takes you like 10 minutes to circle back around and talk about the topic that you were originally on. So that's another thing I look for in a proper YouTube channel. And going along with that same talking aspect, and I actually tried this earlier this year, and that is, I really want to see little to no, what do they call them, ASMR videos. You know, they're all sound and no talking. Or even the narrated videos. I don't like that either. You know, if you're going to talk to me during a video, do it while you're actually recording the video. I've seen a lot of guys going on these really nice cross-country trips. You know, maybe go out to Sturgis, out to the Badlands, going down south into Arizona or something like that, and they just narrate the whole story to you. And sometimes it seems like they make up these really elaborate scripts for them to read. You know, it doesn't sound like someone's just talking to me and telling me about the trip. It's like they actually took the time to write a story. And some of it can be okay, but for the most part, again, it just tells me a story. It's not actually letting me live it as you're living it. You know, I don't get the sensation of, oh, you came over that hill and now here's a sharp curve and you're like, oh wow, that's way too sharp. And you know, you're telling me about it instead of letting me experience it. So the no talking rides, the narrated rides, I don't really care for those. And still going on with the talking is, you know, you got to be able to have a vocabulary to help carry yourself. You know, if you are a type of person that has to say a swear word every 10 seconds, I've been told that swearing is a lack of education, because your brain cannot come up with other words to fill in the storyline, fill in that gap. So your brain just swears. So it's effing this and crap that, shit that, blah blah blah, fuck now mama come. I don't get into that. If you can't go on a ride and not swear, then I don't think I want to go on that trip with you. And then when you're also, another thing I like to see are people that they talk about themselves a little bit. Now, I understand that we're on a motorcycle trip and, you know, I want to help experience the bike and everything like that. But I've had people that they talk in a way that's like, you know, oh, when I twist these Kiriakin grips and that 114 horsepower harley-davidson Milwaukee 8 motor kicks in and sucks air through the Screaming Eagle intakes and spits it out the Reinhardt exhaust, man, there's nothing better than that. It's like, come on, don't sit there and talk like that. You know, can't you just say, when I twist my wrist, this thing throttles up and goes? Can't you just talk like that? Or that every video that they make is always about, oh, I want to improve this, I want to improve that, I want to change out this and that and the other thing. And it's like, well, that's fine, and I don't mind watching videos where you're changing out this, that, and the other thing, but sometimes it gets very repetitive. You know, they keep on saying how they want to redo, I don't know, the air intake or something like that, and they talk about it for 6 months in every single video. And I just don't want that. I want you to tell me about yourself. You know, tell me that your kids are, you know, doing well. Tell me that you and your wife are planning a trip and where you want to go, and see. I want to get to know you as a creator, as a person. You know, if I want to look up the stats on your motorcycle, I can do that. You know, I'm more interested in you as a person. So that's another thing I look for in a channel. The other thing that kind of goes along with this is, and again, it's one of those things where People just talk too much about their bike, their gear, and stuff like that. And that's when they start making top 10 lists, or top 20 lists, or the top 3 things, the bottom 3 things, the bottom 10 things, and you know, the top 10 reasons why I bought this and that's why you should buy it too type stuff. And again, I'm not into that. You know, that's just your opinion as to why that's a top 10 or top 3 thing that makes that bike good for you or whatever. And I just don't get all that. And it seems like a lot of those channels that do those top things also do the rides and reviews and stuff like that. I want to see you out on your bike, going out for your rides. I've seen lots of channels that every video they're on a different bike, and they want me to take their review of what makes that a good bike or a bad bike into consideration, because they've been on it for maybe 2-3 hours and they know everything about it. I'm not doing it. The other thing that I don't like to see in a YouTube channel is a lot of shorts. I hate that YouTube is pushing these shorts. You know, they want to take business away from TikTok and all these other short video format sites and stuff. It's like, YouTube, that's not what you are for. You know, you are for people to create full content videos. If the content is only a minute long, that's fine, but I want it in a full content screen. I hate it when they strip it down and it looks like it's shot on a cell phone and stuff. I just don't like that. And if I go to a channel and the first 3 things, 5 things that come up are all shorts, then I'm not going to watch the channel. I'll accept a couple every once in a while, but I don't want it to be that heavily shorted, I guess. You know, I just don't want that many shorts on the channel to where I'm constantly getting notified, you know, that a new video has been put up, and this is the 3rd one today, and the 3rd one's also a short. You know, the first one was a short, the second one was a short, this latest one's a short. And you know, you get 5, 10, up to 30 shorts before you actually put up a full-length video, which, by the way, I could watch the full-length video and get all the information off those shorts anyway. So that doesn't make any sense to me. You know, if I was to cut this ride up and make a short on each one of these individuals, you know, each one of these individual, oh, that's kind of cool. They turned those silos into like towers from a castle. But I could turn each one of these reasons of why I subscribe to a channel, turn it into a short, and I'd have 10, 12 videos. Or I can just put it in one video, which I would prefer. And finally, one of the last things that and I don't even want to say last things, but it's the last one on my list that I'm going to tell you. And that is, I don't like it when people are deliberately out there breaking the law. It just gets my goat. I don't like it. I absolutely hate it. You know, I don't care what bike you're on. I don't care where you hike or where you camp or anything like that. But if you're breaking the law, and I'm talking anything from excessive speeding, you know, I have to do 5 miles an hour over on my speedometer in order to do a speed limit. My speedometer is 10% off. So for me, that sign is a 30-mile-an-hour sign. So I have to do about 33 on my odometer to get 30. Hence, if I want to do 55, I have to be doing 59 to 60. If I want to do 70, my speedometer has to be reaching almost 80 for me to do 70 miles an hour. Okay, and I understand that. Motorcycle speedometers are notoriously off. But if I'm looking at your speedometer and I know you're on some backcountry road that's probably more or less governed at 55 mile an hour, and I know it is because you passed the speed limit sign and I was able to read it, and you look down from your helmet cam and you're looking at the speedometer or your dash or whatever, and it's stating that you're doing 90 and you're flying past cars and stuff like that, I'm not going to watch. You know, if you're on the interstate and your speedometer is saying you're doing 100 miles an hour and you're passing cars left and right like they're standing still, I'm not going to watch. If you're out there hooning around doing wheelies and burnouts and stuff like that, I'm not going to watch. You know, to me, those are the type of people that give bikers a bad name. I mean, screw the 1%ers. They're not giving everybody a bad name. It's these assholes that are out there breaking the laws intentionally because they think they're really cool. Yeah, I just don't get it. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I have other criteria for watching videos, you know, and subscribing to a channel. But those are the primary main things I look for. Okay guys, so sorry about the abrupt scenery change. I was sitting at home and I was editing the video and getting everything ready to go, and all of a sudden my footage stopped. So apparently my camera decided that the memory card speed was not what's the word, not fast enough, and so yeah, it just stopped recording. But I was almost done with the video anyway. I was just kind of rambling on about a couple other things that I could be adding to the list, but I'm not going to worry about putting them in the video. But those are basically the criteria I look for in a YouTube channel for me to actually subscribe to it, you know. And some of the biggest ones are, of course, the topic, how often you put your videos out, the quality of the video, and you as a person. You know, do I like your personality, and do you come across as being truthful, and do you talk about yourself, about your life and what's going on, and maybe just a few observations you've seen, and not have to sit there and do, you know, top 10 lists and review rides and product placements and reviews on stuff that people send you, because to me that just gets to be an advertisement and I don't want to see those. So yeah, that's basically my list right there, and I'm really curious on what your list is. What is it that you look for in a channel that will make you subscribe to it? I really want to know. Comment down below. And I mean it, guys. I'm not just saying it just to get action on my channel. I want you guys to make a comment down below telling me what it is you look for in a YouTube channel as far as solid content that makes you want to subscribe. Well, always believe, heart, soul, mind, and body, in yourself, that you can go out for that ride, you can go out for that hike, you can cook that new dish, and that it's going to taste fabulous. Bye, guys.